Oh, hi. This week, we're getting into weird costume time, y'all. I'm so excited for this stupid fucking idea I came up with. Conversations about Halloween costumes intrinsically lead to conversations about sexy Halloween costumes. One that I thought needed to exist in the world is MoJoJoJo from the Powerpuff Girls. I don't know if any of you were as into that show as I was as a youth, but man, I drew a lot of fan art for it. Even had a big clunky hard plastic lunchbox with them on it, and my sister got me a lot of memorabilia from the Cartoon Network headquarters when she lived in Georgia. It was definitely my thing in early middle school days, late elementary school days, and it's still very near and dear to my heart. I could go the easy route and just make, you know, a sexy Buttercup because she was my favorite. I've always envied Blossom, but just didn't have the brain for that, much like I envy Ravenclaws. I just want to be smart is what I'm getting at. But no, I'm stuck here doing this buck wild shit. Anyways, let's list some materials. So he's essentially in a go-go dancer outfit if you spend any time kind of breaking down his ensemble. So I've picked up some heeled boots. Yes, ideally they'd be like the real tall go-go dancer boots. Not only can I not find ones that are in my size, but I'm also not going to spend that kind of money at a costume store. Those won't ever get worn again. So instead I thrifted these surprisingly comfortable heeled ankle boots from Goodwill for $6. So this was definitely a better option. As far as his blue tunic, I'm working with this oversized button-up shirt. I was gonna make the tunic from scratch out of an old bed sheet, but then this was in the dollar section at the thrift store, so like why wasn't I gonna go for this? It's already got good bones for what I want to build the shape into, so it's gonna be perfect. I'm also just using 2-inch wide elastic for the belt, but if you have a white belt, go for it. For the little M triangle that's on his belt, the darker purple felt, and then this old bed sheet that I have scraps from, because I also use the bed sheet to cut this basic cape shape. So yeah, basically you need 2 different types of purple fabric. I will also be wearing a pair of black leggings and a long sleeve, or it's like a 3/4 sleeve, black shirt underneath the tunic, and fingers crossed I can make these long enough to connect to where my shirt ends. I also have this stretchy white fabric I'm gonna attempt to make gloves out of. I've never made gloves, so we'll see. Maybe I'll just make some big ass mittens. I don't know. Now, the most prominent thing about MoJoJoJo is his giant fucking helmet. I couldn't for the life of me figure out a good way to make something to go on top of my head. I don't want my hair to detract from everything else happening. So then I thought, well, why not make the helmet the hair? Or make the hair the helmet. Then I remembered I had this cheap ass wig that I saved from the trash at the costume shop I worked at last year, and I'm not ruining it or anything, because initially I was thinking of putting streaks or something in it, but then I found this purple lace trim that I've had laying around forever, so I think working with this to make some type of headband or striping situation on the wig is going to be the way to go. So yeah, there are a few elements to work with, but they're all pretty quick projects within themselves, so I don't think this is going to take forever long to make, and rather than taking even longer by rambling forever, let's get right into the thing. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna get into is the boots, just because we gotta paint them and they need time to dry. The fake leather on here is already pretty scuffed and kind of dull looking. You can use acetone to get that top seal off of it, but I don't have any around, and also I hate the smell of it. Considering this is what the first coat ended up looking like, I don't hate it. I think I'll be able to work with that. Not something I'll be wearing often, so I'm not worried about the integrity of the color. I just want it to look pretty okay, mostly for this video. Although I am working a convention this weekend if any of you are near the seacoast of New Hampshire. Yes, we have some coastline. Don't be a dick about it. We have 18 whole miles. It's not right on the water or anything, but it's in that part of the state. I'll be at NerdFest. I'll put a link to the event in the description if you're around. It's Saturday and Sunday. The actress that played Coach Beast from Glee is gonna be there, and some other person I've never heard of. It's the first year this convention is happening, so I'm hoping that they have a good turnout and that it encourages them to continue doing cool shit like this in the future, because I'm all for any nerdy events happening. So yeah, figured I'd mention it. I'll have some of my new stuff I just released in my Etsy shop there. I have a bunch of Halloween themed things. All of the jewelry and the bags that are listed that are specifically Halloween themed, they're all made already, so they're ready to ship as soon as the order is placed. So if it's early enough in the day, I'll ship it same day. Worst case scenario, it's going to be a next day ship situation. So like, you still got time. We're still over a week out. Although, can we talk about how it's already mid to late October? What has happened this year? I've just been juggling so many things and spinning so many plates. I haven't really taken time just to process what has been happening this year, but we're getting into cold season and I'm having trouble understanding how we got this far. Anyways, back to the project at hand. I'm gonna sand down the heel because this is still super shiny. So you can see the difference and how there's more texture. So you need something for the paint to hold on to. All right, now I'm gonna wipe that down with a paper towel. I did try sanding this down before, but it didn't make much of a difference and it's already kind of scuffed up. So I'm just gonna go for it. This is plain ass white acrylic paint. You can tape sections off if you want because the base is all rubber and that's the only part I don't want to be painted white. That's going to be the easiest part to get the paint off of after, so I'll just scrape it down with something after I finish my final coat. Time to roll up these sleeves. Also, God, this shirt is so big on me. Okay, I have 2 coats on the boots. I do have to clean up the rubber on the bottom, but I'm going to let them dry. I may just leave it with the 2 coats because from this distance, I don't think they look that bad. And I don't want to fuck it up by adding a 3rd one and potentially scraping some of the underlayer off. Now for, I think the tunic, I guess we'll tackle this, kind of build everything around it. Right off the bat, I'm actually going to seam rip sleeves off of here before I even get to the shaping part. And I do want to see what the shoulders look like once I take this off. Maybe I'll finally watch that Looking for Alaska show that's on Hulu now, because I did read that book forever ago, and I'm curious what a visual adaptation will look like. Apologies if there's stuff in my teeth. I've been snacking like a motherfucker, and also ended up watching Hocus Pocus, because why wasn't that the obvious choice? Anyways, I got the sleeves off. I am gonna do a little row of stitching just to tack this hem down so it's not sticking out, and to keep this side from splitting any further than it did for me undoing the serging that was there attaching the sleeve. Do that for both sides. And while I'm stitching that, this is the cape shape that I cut out, and it gets wider as it goes down. So I'm just gonna hem the edges on this so it doesn't look too bad, and then I think we're gonna tackle the gloves next. The boots are looking pretty good. I don't entirely hate this. I will clean up the edges. Actually, maybe I'll do that now just to make sure. So I think anything with a metal edge, like a nail trimmer, that little thing that like cleans under your nails, or a seam ripper edge, anything like that should work across the rubbery edge, and it's scraping off pretty easy. I mean, I guess you could also use a knife for this. Do you like how I said I was gonna hem everything and then immediately got distracted with another aspect of this project? It's good to do this now though, because if I need to touch something up or repaint anywhere, it'll have time to dry before I want to have everything else done. At least that's what I'm telling myself for having a 0 focus at all times. Okay, so boots have been scraped, armholes have been restitched, so that's not flopping out anywhere. Cape has been hemmed. I only hemmed the sides and the bottom because I was trying to figure out how I was going to attach this to everything else, and then the hem that was from the actual bed sheets I had cut off. And rather than making this overcomplicated and attaching this by either stitching it to the collar or using snaps or something, why not just make it a tie-on situation? The joy of having a collar on this shirt is that it'll hide whatever the necktie does. So yeah, I'm gonna find the center of this strand, also find the center of the top here, attach this to the right side of the cape. I'll pin it there in the middle and then sew along this entire top edge. Next up, I'm gonna do the gloves. I don't wanna do the gloves. I think this is gonna be a pretty annoying part of the project. Let's do the pain in the ass thing first and then do the fun, easy parts. I'm gonna need 4 pieces total, so 2 pieces for 2 hands. And I wanna make these as long as I can, just because the black shirt I'm gonna be wearing doesn't have particularly long sleeves. So I'm gonna lay my arm here. I'm going to give myself plenty of room for everything. I'm just going to trace my hand, basically making my own little hand turkey. I'm going to keep the fingers a little bigger than they actually are. This looks so fucking stupid. Okay, so this fabric had less stretch than I thought, which is a bummer because it's such a good like stark white. But I found this ratty old ass t-shirt that I have used in 2 different last minute costume videos over the years. I'll link to the playlist to those because they're my favorite to make, and bet your ass it's going to come out the day before Halloween. That is happening. I have a list of things and it's going to be great. So yeah, it's more dull and does have some staining from some of the markers I have used on that shirt. They're done and they're going to work out. And honestly, like, t-shirt material is probably the best thing to do just because there's so much give to it. So I think the last thing we have to do is make our little emblem for the belt. And actually the belt is pretty stretched out because it's from an old pair of pajama shorts. So while I have the white thread on my machine, I'm going to stitch this tighter. Okay, and as for his little emblem, for some reason the belt is black on here, but all the other images are white. It's just a triangle with a little M on it. I'm going to cut a big triangle out of this purple felt, this darker purple felt. Just gonna make sure it's wider than the elastic. Yeah, that that'll do the trick. And then rather than trying to cut an M out of this thinner material and try to make it not look like complete garbage, I'm going to cut the M out of the felt because that's going to hold the edges better. Okay, so I drew a little M with chalk. The lighter purple M on his belt goes to the edges, but I'm going to keep all the edges of the triangle intact. So I kind of shrank it down a little bit. Hey, look at that. Beautiful. So now I'm just going to find a scrap of this purple material, stitch this on there, trim the edges so that they're even. I did stitch the lighter purple fabric to the entire outer edge, and then I did stitch over the M just to give it a little more stability, and then I just did 2 rows of stitching along the edge to attach it to the belt. I think that's all our pieces made. The only thing I need to do is add the lace bits to the hair, but I'm gonna put the wig on at the end of all of this and then fiddle with it. So I think it's time to get dressed, and I'm also gonna try to put some makeup on, kind of drive home this entire look. So I will be back once I'm mostly suited up, and then we'll fuck with the wig and we'll be done. Oh, I have like nervous goosebumps because I'm not sure how this is gonna go. Okay, so listen, like I know, we all know, we've all been here before. I am not good at makeup. I also found this tube. This has to be like 9 years old. I apologize if I'm going cross-eyed. I'm not subjecting my glasses to this, whatever's happening. I was initially just gonna do like green contouring and stuff, but then realized A, I don't know how to contour, and B, just paint your face green. Just do it. I'm gonna try the wig now. Everything else is on except the gloves, so I think we're in pretty good shape. Who allowed this to happen? Who allowed me to spend this much time by myself? Do I just wear it as like a headband? Ooh. I have to go to the post office after this. It is 4:35 and they close at 5 o'clock. So yeah, I think we're gonna stick with this. Let me get my gloves on. Did I make myself look like a snake? I feel like I made myself look like a snake. Okay, y'all. Like, I'm not mad at it. I'm as confused as you are about this. So I actually like the whole wearing this dress shirt as a dress. Probably still too short for me for that to be reasonable. I would do something with the shoulder situation. Also, I don't think I've ever dressed up as a villain. So not that I know how to pose in anything anyway, but especially not do like bad guy poses. I truly cannot wait to get this makeup off of my face. I don't know, I was joking that this is like sexy MoJoJoJo, but he is wearing essentially a go-go dancer outfit, so like, do you even need to make that clarification? I don't know, I wouldn't. Also, my nose is running and I didn't think at all, and then wiped my green face makeup off with the white glove that I'm wearing, just because that's how bad I am at makeup. I'm gonna get out of this before my dog forgets what I look like and thinks I'm an intruder. So I do have another costume video coming out this Saturday. If you aren't subscribed and you would like to check that out, that's an easy way to do it. Stay tuned for that because I'm very excited for that one also. Fingers crossed it goes at least as well as this one did, because I'm really not mad about the turnout of this. It's just impossible to fit in frame when I have like a wig adding to my height and the ensemble includes boots. Like, it's tough getting everything in the shot. And then also I will have my annual last minute Halloween costume video next Wednesday. Lots of things to look forward to. I'm very pumped about it. I hope you've all been enjoying this spooky season. Let me know if you've dressed up as anything. Please tag me in pictures on Instagram, especially if you made your costumes. Now I have to run to the post office because I have some Patreon mail perks to mail out. I really hope you like them. I am thinking of revamping a couple of my Patreon perks, like the lower ones, adding some stuff to those. So if you have any thoughts, if there's something you've been like waiting for me to add before you sign up, let me know. Let's make it a group conversation because that's more fun for everybody, I think. And if Patreon spooks you, I do have a coffee page. I also have an Etsy shop if you want to buy some of the things I've been making. Okay, I'm going to get my ass to the post office and try to get as much of this off before that happens, but we'll see. The post office clerks probably would expect me to do something like this, so I don't know that I have to worry too much. I will see you back here with another costume video on Saturday morning, and if you're seeing this the week it's going up and that video on Saturday, come to NerdFest if you can and have time and are close enough to. It'd be super fun to hang out with people that I know, especially because it's a convention I haven't been to before, because it hasn't existed before this, and I'm nervous. Anyways, I'll see you back here in a couple days. Thank you so much for hanging out. Oh God, is anyone even gonna know who this is? I hope so.